just asked that, right?
Yes. Everything is good.
Everything is great, right?
Yes.
All right.
I found out something I didn't know before.
Yeah. Keep it that way.
Yes.
Yes. All right. All right. So right now,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen our new website, linkupradio.com. Have you seen it?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did see it. Beautiful.
When did you look at it?
Just now.
All right.
By the way, let's take some immigrant because we got to get the hook at 12:30,
We
right?
still have the $80 consultation. Yes,
Yes.
we do.
Right. We're getting the hook at 12:30, right?
Yes, we are.
For Jamaica.
Right
yes.
now-
$80 consultation fees.
Uh-huh.
You call 1-800
522
522-0804. 1-800-522-0804. And the reason why we're going to ask you to call instead of our main number,
Uh-huh.
the 1-800-522-0804 is we are only doing this $80 consultation fees for our Link Up listeners.
That's it.
That is it. If you don't listen to Link Up, we are not doing it for you.
Right.
Right?
That's true.
Right.
And
We want to
we want to incentivize and give more.
but we want to thank the Link Up listeners
Yes.
for the last 13 years. So if you call 1-800-522-0804, you will get the $80 consultation fee. If you call any other number, you may not get that
Absolutely.
$80 consultation fee. And it's only $80 now through the end of June.
That is true. So right now you need to call 800-522-0804. That's 1-800-522-0804. I'm quite sure by now a lot of you have realized that we're on in the mornings at 7 a.m. Brad Bernstein and I will do something in retrospect. You can actually, or you may hear your question there. Make sure you tune in at 7 a.m. We're on the World Wide Web at www.linkupradio.com. Now go to the chat room, click on join chat, ask your immigration questions. Let's go to one on the airwaves first and see what it is that you got. Yes, sir. Go ahead now.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Brad.
Hi.
I have a question. I plan on file for my sister. I don't know if that is possible. I'm actually a citizen and I want to bring her up actually from Jamaica. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, file an I-130 visa petition. It's very possible. Just take some years, but it's absolutely very possible.
Some years, like how long will it be, you know? Like.
Well, right now it's about an 8 or 9 year backlog, but my guess is that it will be substantially less than 8 or 9 years. Maybe
Okay.
5 to 7 years is my guess right now.
Okay, no
All right?
problem.
Okay.
All right,
All
no
right,
problem.
thank you.
Once again, the number to call right now, everyone that's out there across the entire United States of America, Brad Bernstein, the immigration attorney, can handle your calls right here over the phone. He can do a telephone consultation. Make the call, however, if you don't want to pay $120, you want to pay $40 less, it's $80. Call this special number, 1-800-522-0804. That is 1-800-522-0804, 1-800-522-0804. Remember to ask your immigration question in the chat room on linkupradio.com. Click on join chat. Let's take another call. Mr. Bernstein is ready. He's kicking up everything over here. Hello.
Yeah, Squeeze, all gone.
Well, everything good enough.
All right. Yeah, Squeeze, I want to find out from Mr. Bernstein, the case, if his office handle the situation pertaining to the case, which is Kentucky versus Padilla. And if so, if that law that came down from the Supreme Court, if it's retroactive.
Which case is he talking about?
Kentucky versus whom?
Padilla.
Padilla?
Yeah, Padilla.
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 Yes.
Yes, Padilla. What that case is, we talked about it a few weeks ago. Okay, and you're talking about that if you weren't told about the immigration consequences, that your case should be your criminal case should be vacated.
Yes.
Yes, we vacate convictions all the time, but it's not as simple as, you know, every state is different. In New York, there's a Court of Appeals case, which is the highest case in the state of New York, People versus Ford. Okay, which basically says is that that immigration is a collateral consequence of a criminal conviction, and therefore, if you weren't told about the criminal, you weren't told about the immigration consequences of that conviction, that in of itself is not a reason to overturn your conviction.
Right.
You still have to show that your rights were violated in some respect. Now, in Padilla, what Padilla is saying is the Supreme Court of the United States, which actually trumps the Court of Appeals in the state of New York.
Yes.
What Padilla says is that it is not a consequential, it is not a It is not a collateral consequence of your conviction, but it is certainly, if you were not advised of your immigration consequences, it could be a violation of your rights. Now, there's a second part of that, which says is that the defendant still has to prove that had he not pled guilty,
Right.
a different outcome would have happened.
Okay.
Okay? So in other words, it's not enough just to say I wasn't told about the immigration consequences and therefore my case should be reopened. Okay? Because then if that were the case, look at it from the Supreme Court standpoint. If that were the case, the courts would be overwhelmed with applications to overturn convictions for just about every person who is not a U.S. citizen. Because just about every person who is not a U.S. citizen, I would say, of people who are not U.S. citizens, people who have convictions, I would say 80 to 90% of them didn't understand that there was an immigration consequence when they pled guilty. Certainly nobody explained it to them. And, in the more recent times, yes, that was happening. So they can't go back and overturn everybody's conviction. So what the Supreme Court added in Padilla is that, I'm not paraphrasing, but basically what they said is that you also have to show that had you not pled guilty, and you proceeded on with your criminal case, that it is likely a different outcome would have happened.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right,
So it depends on. It's not you have to first. The way it works is. And this is important, Squeeze, and I know you want to move on, but the way it works is that we first have to get the minutes for the day you pled guilty and the day you were sentenced to see what you were told and what you were not told, to see if you were told about any immigration consequences. And then we got to review your entire criminal record to see if there is a way to argue that, you want to know what, had this guy not pled guilty, we think that a different outcome would have happened, and he wasn't told about the immigration consequences.
All right, sir?
All right. Thank
So you can call us, and you're actually calling our criminal department to deal with that.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, to call the Criminal Defense Department, the number is 1-800-377-2981. That's 1-800-377-2981. 1-800-377-2981 to call the Criminal Defense Department to deal with Mike Albiniaco, which is the criminal defense attorney. Now, here's a question at linkupradio.com in the chat room. Make sure you join us in the chat room at linkupradio.com. Lower right-hand corner, click on join chat when you get to the page. It says here, mom, resident, filed for adult children over 21 3 years ago. Then received approval late last year, saying no visa. I don't understand.
No visa available.
No visa
Yeah, because you're on a waiting list.
Oh, so you're on a waiting
You're
list.
on a waiting list. The waiting list is in 05. So it's 3 years. You have about another 2-3 years to go.
That's a quick
Right.
one. All right, here's another one. Pete says, how long does it take for them to forward the appointment letter to Jamaica after you send off your final documents?
If it's done properly, 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. Quick questions in the Link Up Radio chat room. Remember, you can log on, linkupradio.com, and of course, pop your questions in the chat room, linkupradio.com. Join the chat. You can also hear us there, and you can also see what Brad Bernstein and Squeeze looks like.
Are these people listening or are they just texting in the chat room?
No, they're
Good
listening.
question. They're listening.
They're listening
Can they listen and
texting.
text at the
They
same
can
time?
listen, text, and video.
And by the way, you could also check us out, because I pay a lot of money for this feature.
Oh, you do?
On my website.
Right?
That you can go to www.forimmigration.com, and we are also streaming live
Live there.
there.
Can
But
they get
there's
what you did?
and we're streaming live through the cameras that you're going to see on YouTube.
Right.
But you can't chat with us there.
Right.
But what you can do is this.
You can watch that and also chat here.
You can watch it on forimmigration.com. You can chat on, and you. But we have
can
it.
chat and video. You can see them.
We
also
have.
here.
We actually have a live chat where you can ask a question of a live person. But right now, for some reason, the Einsteins behind our marketing.
Right.
Okay.
That's the reason why I need to hire.
Right. The Einsteins behind our marketing. I'm just thinking about it now.
Gotta hire
Has
David and
has the live person chat going to someone other than me who's on the radio right now?
Right.
But it should be, if I'm on the radio and somebody wants to chat with me live on the radio, the live person should be coming to me here, not somewhere else. But you can chat with someone else in my
I think you need to
office.
speak with our IT department.
Yeah, but you
We
can't.
take
But
care of that
right.
for you.
But you can chat with somebody else in my office
Right.
and watch us stream live on forimmigration.com.